night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Let's see. You didn't ask about that. Let the love wash over us. We let be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be.
giving the message to our whole being. Be still and know I am is God. we slowly begin to bring our awareness to the surface of the mind, knowing that we have experienced the energy of wholeness. We have created a field of stability here in this room, and all who enter feel it and know this is home. We accept the blessings of this day that come through everything we do, every person we meet, every word we speak, everything we share. Elicits in us that boundless gratitude, the joy of being. It's who we are. And we give thanks for our own evolving awareness that gives us moment by moment a deeper sense of what we bring, why we are here, and what is ours to do. And we let this day be the joyful celebration of all the good that is always present, available to everyone. And so bringing ourselves fully back, we might move our feet up and down, rub our hands together. We always go deeper than we know. We want to bring our attention back slowly, letting the eyes open when they're ready. Well, that's kind of sweet that it was just us. I guess you want to push this back again.
Everybody can come in and sit down now. Good morning, everybody. I am Robert Brown, practitioner at large, actually. And I'd like to welcome you to the special Thanksgiving celebration today, a few days earlier than Thanksgiving. But we've got a special program for you this morning. So whether you're here in the room, and I can all see you out here in your happy faces, or you're online watching us, we're happy to have you join us as we celebrate the truth that we know there is a power for good in the universe, and it is greater than we are, and we can use it. So keeping that in mind, I'd like to invite you to just relax for a moment during our opening spiritual mind treatment. We know there is only one power, one presence in the universe and in our lives. Some call it God the Good, some call it creative intelligence, some call it the universe. Whatever you call it, it's there and it's part of us and we're part of it. So I welcome you all this morning into that oneness, knowing that we are loved, that we are lovable, that we are creative, we are expressive, we are all powerful in using the power of the creative intelligence to bring good into our lives. So I give thanks for this gathering today. I give thanks for the wonderful messages we will hear from 3 wonderful ministers. I give thanks for each and every you for being here and sharing this love and community with us. I give great thanks as I release my words into the law, knowing that they are done, knowing that they are as spoken. And together we say, and so it is. And now for the opening group song by our guest musician today, Jeanette Alexander.
Does everyone have the words? It's I thought because it had been raining so much, we should do "We Let the Love Wash Over Us."
And the words are in the insert into the weekly bulletin.
Can you give me one of those? Because I didn't see what that looked like. Is there an extra one? She's got one. Yeah, just so I could see what she wrote in there. Okay, great. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the joy. We let the joy wash over us. We let it be. Peace. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. Grace. We let the grace wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. Thank you. Thank you for singing.
Thank you, Jennifer, and thank you all the wonderful voices in our makeshift choir out there. So now it's time for our group reading, and it's also in the program. There is one life, both visible and invisible, one presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect love and perfect intelligence. I am an individualized expression of all that it is. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect intelligence. And I don't think it's you, Maddie. Are you doing the candle lighting? It's the other Maddie, right? And she's not here. Do I have a volunteer to do the candle lighting? Okay. So we're going to light a few candles in celebration and recognition of some of the amazing aspects of this thing called life. First, we light a candle for life. Life is everywhere present, flowing through each and every one of us. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is our life now. So please affirm with me, I am life. Next, we light a candle for love. The birth of love happens within each one of us every time we make room for the Christ consciousness in our hearts and recognize our unity. We are points of love within the heart of God. Please affirm with me, I am love. We light a candle for light. The light of God is the presence and the power. We are always walking in the light. We radiate the light of God wherever we are. Please affirm with me, I am light. Next, we light a candle for joy. Joy is the very nature of spirit and the true essence of each of us. We celebrate the joy of our own rebirth in the God consciousness. We each bring joy to the world. So please affirm with me, I am joy. And now we light a candle for peace. No, sorry. Now we light a candle for beauty. We are made in the likeness and image of God. We're each whole, complete, and beautiful just as we are. We accept the beauty of God's perfection as our perfection now. Please affirm with me, I am beauty. And now we light a candle for peace. Today and every day we open our hearts to peace. We are each a center of peace in our world. So please affirm with me, I am peace. And finally, I invite you to take a moment to recognize your own inner light that is always shining within you, as we each honor our own metaphysical path of wholeness, oneness, and mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles, which are ours to rely upon always. Thank you, guest candle lighter. Okay, now we have another musical selection, but you don't have to sing this one if you don't want to. Jeanette,
Yes, this is
take it away, because after that, we'll hear from Reverend Maureen, Reverend Dr. Carole Carnes, and Reverend Kate as we move into the Thanksgiving spirit.
Yes. So this is a song I wrote with a friend of mine, Stephen Plummer, and it's called When You Pray. And we took a biblical verse from Matthew, verses 7 and 8, where he says, keep on looking and you will find. Keep on knocking, your door will be opened. For everyone who asks receives. And in the spirit of thanksgiving and receiving, I offer you When You Pray. When you pray, when you pray, God hears you. When you pray, God hears you. Keep on asking, and you will be given to. When you pray, when you pray, keep on looking and you will find. Keep on knocking, the door will be open. For everyone who asks, receives. When you pray, God listens. When you pray, God listens. Everyone who seeks shall find, and the door will be open. This is the secret to peace of mind. God knows all the questions in your mind, and all the answers you will find. For everyone who asks, receives. When you pray, everyone who seeks shall find, and the door will be opened every time. Secret to peace of mind. God knows before you ask all the questions in your mind, and all the answers you will find. For everyone who asks, receives. When you pray, God hears you. When you pray, God loves you. When you pray, God listens. When you pray, when you pray, God is you. When you pray, God is you. When you pray, everyone who seeks shall find, and the door will be open. This is the secret to peace of mind. God knows before you ask all the questions in your mind, and all the answers you will find. For everyone who asks, receives. When you pray, when you pray, when you pray, God listens. When you pray, God's with you. When you pray, when you pray.
Thank you, Jeanette. Thank you. Well, hello, everyone. I'm Reverend Maureen Bishop, and wow, I just want to thank you for being here today. It's always great to see you, and joining me to officially announce the holiday season is beginning this week. You know, food, family, football. Anybody watch that game yesterday with Oregon? Well, seriously, thank you for being a blessing in my life, and thank you for Thanksgiving. So today I want to share my thoughts about Thanksgiving and the metaphysics behind Thanksgiving. But first, can a turkey jump as high as the Empire State Building? Well, yes, buildings don't jump. Okay. What do you call a turkey the day after Thanksgiving? Lucky. Lucky. Okay. You know, a little history, a little background. This year was a change for me because my daughter told me she was not going to celebrate Thanksgiving. So I said, what? So I thought I'd better do a little research. You know, when I was a kid, we had little pilgrim uniforms and we played the Indians or the Pilgrims, and everybody had turkey and everybody was happy. Well, come to find out, that's not the truth. But there was a celebration back in 1621, and the Wampanoag Indians were at the feast. They brought 5 deer. The newcomers brought they killed swans. They ate swans in those days, swans and lobsters. So they had a feast. But then that was the only feast, because after that, the Europeans brought disease and decimated the indigenous, and they brought guns and they enslaved the indigenous. So I thought, okay, so much for that myth. But I decided with my daughter, we decided, the indigenous culture is that you celebrate all the time. You don't have to have one day of the year to celebrate and give thanks. And so we decided we could celebrate any place, anytime, any day, or just with the word, thank you. Also, a little history. In 1863, during the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln made a proclamation to celebrate in hopes of bringing peace back to the country. And Congress finally passed an official proclamation in 1941, and it did include turkey. So that's how we got turkey. Thanksgiving is a verb, Thanksgiving, unlike Christmas or Halloween. Thanksgiving, I believe, is the only one that really puts the law of circulation. It sort of is what we call priming the pump. You prime the pump. You give in order to receive. And part of that is 3 parts to the metaphysics that I believe. One is movement, energy, law of circulation. The other is creating space to receive. And the third one is stepping outside of time and space to unity, to a place we call heaven. That's the third aspect of Thanksgiving. So life is all about energy. The law of circulation is a principle of abundance that says giving and receiving create a continuous flow, leading to greater prosperity and wealth, to greater good. It's about energy, giving thanks. Thanks, you say today, provide the seeds for blessings tomorrow. Creating the flow always comes back to you. Giving and receiving, and creating space. Thanksgiving, gratitude creates space to accept greater good. Ernest Holmes, our founder, said, make every day a day of praise and thanksgiving, a day in which we recognize the divine bounty and eternal goodness. Now, eternal goodness is just another form of love. Ernest also said, for Thanksgiving, he said, food is a symbol of God's love and should be eaten with thanksgiving. Some people, Jesus and Michael Beckwith said thank you before they did prayer treatment. Because I believe just saying thank you changes your consciousness. You may recall Yeshua ben Joseph, also known as Jesus. He would give thanks, and then he would command the law to work. He would say, get up and walk. And people would get up and walk. The last thing is that just giving gratitude causes you to stop doing. Right now, we're so busy. I'm going to have, 10 or 13 people over for Thanksgiving, and I'm already in the do mode. You have to stop, get into the being mode. Just let go, breathe, stop. And when you're thankful, you can't be fearful. You can't be angry. You can't be judgmental. All of that just blows away like a dry leaf. You raise your consciousness when you say thank you. You celebrate your unity. I like this. Ernest also said in the Science of Mind textbook, he said, in everything give thanks, because an attitude of gratitude is most salutary. I like that word. This speaks the realization that we are now in heaven. Gratitude is crowned in heaven with a consciousness of unity. In other words, he's saying gratitude and thanksgiving get us this consciousness of unity, which is heaven right now. So if you want to be in heaven, give gratitude. And we also know what we think on, we create more of. So if you think about more and more this season, this week, of what you're thankful for, you will create more of it. Lastly, these are short talks today, but some of you filled these out last year and the year before we handed them out. Well, instead of recommending these this year, I would say you do something a little different. Think about change from last year and give gratitude for change, because change, sometimes we resist it, but it really is a path to a higher consciousness. So for me, Robert and I just came back from a family reunion in Phoenix, and I'm so proud. The whole family, we got together, my brothers and my sister. We didn't talk about religion and we didn't talk about politics. We just loved on each other. So that's what I'm grateful for, that change in family dynamics. And another thing I want you to just think about right now. Normally we give thanks and like in increments. Oh, I'm thankful for my cup half empty. Well, the next year, oh, I'm thankful for my cup half full. The next year, I'm happy for the cup. See, you do a switch there. I'm happy for this cup. I'm happy for this life. A cup is a symbol for life, being alive, having this life and creating this life. And instead of comparing, I've got more than I had last year, just remember to love yourself. Love who you are and how you are created. So just in conclusion, think about law of circulation. Think about creating more space. Thinking about visiting heaven with each prayer, with every thanks. So first, before we close, I want you to say thank you and then your name. So let's all do this in unison. We're going to say our name. Thank you, Maureen. Okay, thank you. So it is. And I'd like to invite Reverend Carole, Dr. Carole Carnes. Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Beautiful day, huh? Lovely to see everyone here and to share this time with you. I thought I'd do my mini talk by beginning to share a couple of stories, Thanksgiving stories from my childhood that have stayed with me these many years and still make me smile. The first one, how many of you remember Art Buchwald? Yeah, he was an American humorist who used to be on the Ed Sullivan Show all the time. And he told this true story about a Thanksgiving with his family. And it was at the end of the Depression. There wasn't much money. They lived in a tiny little apartment in Brooklyn. But his mother somehow had acquired a turkey this one year. He didn't know where she got it, but she had a turkey. And she decided she was going to invite all the relatives that lived in the neighborhood to come into their little apartment and share this turkey. And so she did. And when they all sat around the table, cramped, they could smell it cooking in the kitchen and the beautiful aroma. And after everyone had held hands and said thank you for whatever they were grateful for that day, she said, all right, Art, who was 11 years old, go get the turkey. Let's let everybody see this big, brown, beautiful bird. And so Art went in the kitchen and brought it out on a platter and tripped. And the turkey flew off onto the floor. And there was an audible gasp from all the guests around the table. But his mother, without missing a beat, said, never mind, dear. Take it back to the kitchen and bring in the other one. Perception is everything. She knew. The other story happened to me when I was, I think I was 8. We had moved from California to Kansas to live in the little town where my parents grew up. So we could go to the same schools for a couple years and get to know our grandparents. It was a really kind of a lovely time, but we came back. I think I was in beginning 4th grade when we came back. Money was short. My dad was getting ready to take the real estate exam. But my mother was extremely artistic and extremely creative, and she was good, always made the best of every holiday. It was like Disneyland in our house every holiday. So this particular Thanksgiving, she set the table beautifully, as she always did. We had real silverware that she polished, and china, and candles, and we sat around, we got dressed, cleaned our fingernails, and sat around the table. And in the center of the table, when we saw the mashed potatoes and the green beans and the molded Jell-O salad, there was this huge silver platter with a dome. You know the kind of the restaurants when they present? My mother collected stuff like that. So she had this big dome covering over. We didn't know what it was, the turkey. Well, when it came time, she said, are we ready for our feast? And we went, uh-huh. And she goes, ta-da, and lifts that dome off with a great flourish, and there sat a little meatloaf. You know why? My mother let out a laugh, and we all laughed, all 3 kids and my father. We laughed and laughed because she did. And you know why she laughed? She knew it was temporary. She knew that money would flow again and things would move again as they always did. You see, perception is everything. I titled my mini talk, Bruised Fruit, with the subtitle, Still Tastes Sweet. Now, I know everybody in this room has been bruised. We have at least one time in our life been lied to, cheated on, betrayed, misunderstood, and mistreated. And some of us have been abused. True? But we're all still here. And we're not just here physically. We are here in our entirety, in our wholeness, in our spiritual presence. Because we are spiritual beings first. And nothing that happens in this life changes that one bit. Never has, never will, cannot. Perception is everything. Each one of us is here for a reason. It isn't like, you go to these workshops, what is my purpose? I'm not talking about that. And Reverend Maureen went there. We are here to express what spirit is. We are here to give forth our gifts that are innate in our very beingness. And that means love and joy and peace and vitality, access to supply and creative ideas. Everything anyone could ever possibly want to live a wonderful life, we have. It isn't about things, it's about our nature. Is there anyone in this room that has never felt love? Of course not. We've all felt love. How can we feel something if it's missing? How can we feel gratitude if something's missing? We cannot. We feel joy because it's innate, because it's natural, because it's who we are. We are joy expressing. And it just bubbles up when we allow it to. And so at this time of the year, let's think about the truth that no matter what we're looking at in the world, there is an innate sweetness inherent in it. And that we can call it forth, not by demanding, but by seeing it. And by acknowledging it, and by saying, yes, that is true of every single person on this planet, no matter how their bruisedness has caused them to behave, that sweetness is still there. That goodness is still there. And that's our spiritual potential. And so that's what I'm grateful for. You know, just like a beautiful peach that has fallen to the ground and been bruised, or the bird that picks it up, or the child that takes a bite out of it, it's still as sweet as it ever was. And that's true about us. It's as if none of the bruising had ever happened, because perception is everything. Happy Thanksgiving. And now here's our beautiful Reverend Kate. Thank you.
Thank you. It's great to be here. I had a little delay because I was sitting in the back of the room, and when I turned my microphone on, it was creating feedback. So excuse me for that little tiny delay. It's really great to be able to talk along with Reverend Maureen and along with Dr. Carole. And I think, you know, we're all so unique, and it just wonderfully happened that we're looking at this idea of Thanksgiving living from different viewpoints, thinking about the past, our feelings, how we have gone through the experience of Thanksgiving, a little humor. I think myself that when you strip down the idea of Thanksgiving to its bare essence, you could also say that when we give thanks, what we're doing is turning away from what's wrong and turning towards what's right. What's right in our world, what's right in our life, what's right now, what's right in ourselves and each other. And when we really do stop all of this jibber jabber mind stuff that's always going on, when we really do stop and we actually begin to count our blessings, what happens? The rest, the things that don't feel like blessings, actually fall away from our minds. Or you could say that they begin to shrink in importance. Counting our blessings, giving thanks for what we do have, changes what we're seeing. It does give us a new perspective. It's just the same as when we're sitting in the dark and we turn on the lamp. The light shows the truth. Our good is the truth. Our thanking is like a light that shines, showing us the truth of what really is and what's really important. There is so much to be grateful for. We all know that. You know, I'm sure everyone here could write a list of 1,000 things to be grateful for the fact that you actually have a chair to sit on, to the fact that we have electricity, to the fact that we're not alone, we're together right now. But I thought right now I would invite you to focus on the ocean for me, with me, yeah. So, I mean, the truth is we're really lucky to live near the ocean. It's immense, it's magnificent, and although we may not think about this idea of the ocean. As much as we think about its beauty, you know, it is beautiful. The ocean is also the source of new life, constantly emerging and flourishing, from tiny little plankton to immense, gigantic whales. The ocean is a reservoir of so much that we really need in life: water, minerals, and energy itself. It's the source of the clouds and the rain and the rivers and the lakes, and it flows back into the ocean, and it also flows down into the ground. And as it flows, the water from the ocean, brings the possibility of life to those of us who live on land, from the palm tree to the lizard to us, the humans. The water makes life possible for us. The water circulates and enhances life in so many ways. And if you think about it for a moment, the ocean has no ill intention. It's life-giving. It's benign. It, in itself, is harmless. It has no intention at all. It simply is. But things happen. You know, we may read about terrible tsunamis, tidal waves. I've seen water spouts. That was kind of alarming, but missed the boat I was in. Yay. Hurricanes. Many people do experience hurricanes. And yet, even though these things happen, we can still understand that there's no force of evil behind these events, only forces of nature. We can understand that even when it comes to a hurricane or simply a rainstorm, there's no force intent on causing harm. It's simply up to us to learn to navigate through the challenges that come about from the weather, from nature, and perhaps from life. And so, in this case, we can give thanks for having a roof over our heads, for owning an umbrella, and for the ability to turn on the TV or the radio and see the weather forecast and be prepared. The truth about the ocean is that it is perfect, whole, and complete. When we simply look at it, we see that it is magnificent. It's up to us to avoid making the mistakes that could put ourselves and others into harm's way. Think for a moment about whales, about whaling. When people discovered how useful whales might be, they over-harvested them until they were nearly gone. Until humanity, the consciousness of humanity, that shared consciousness, we sometimes call it race consciousness, meaning the consciousness of the human race, woke up. Humanity woke up and noticed what was happening to these magnificent creatures of the oceans and made a change in this shared thinking. And when our thinking changes, the whole world changes. Now we can go down to the beach and be lucky enough to see whales right off our coast. They're plentiful again. So I have the ocean on my list of blessings, and I have whales on my list of blessings, and I have this amazing ability of humanity to be able to wake up and notice and make changes on my list of blessings. And it's not just as a group that we can notice and make changes. Each one of us can shift our own perception and make changes in our own thinking. And it's a wonderful blessing. And I feel so grateful for each of you here today, for everyone who has come to the center over the years, because you have helped me learn it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to change your life. It's okay to think new thoughts. And together, by sharing our experiences, we have discovered over and over again that when we change our thinking, when we change our perceptions, when we look even at history with new eyes, the whole world changes with us. And I am grateful for the demonstrations of good that have been shared here. Grateful for the ability of us all to help each other with treatment. And just by sharing our own experiences of how when we did ask for treatment for health reappeared. How when we treated for prosperity was established. And how when we began to see each other, not just here, but when we see each other with kindness in our heart, we have experienced that relationships were healed, families have reconnected, and new friendships have been formed. And that's what we'll be about today, forming new friendships and connecting, because we really do live in a magnificent paradise. And we are already surrounded by friends and potential friends. So this week, let's make this a week of looking at the world of nature as a blessing and allow gratitude to well up in our hearts. Let's look at each other, whether it's someone in your family that maybe they don't really want to see, or someone that you have just been longing to see, or someone that's simply on the other end of the telephone that you won't be able to see. And whether you're celebrating the Thanksgiving holiday with a large group or by yourself, there is so much to be thankful for. Because each person truly is a special, magnificent, spiritual someone made like you, from the substance of spirit itself, navigating through life the best they can. So think about them, think about yourself, and know the truth about yourself. You are spirit and form. You are a blessing to the world. And I give thanks to you, for each and every one of you. So this week, let's practice Thanksgiving living and start truly noticing that it is a wonderful world. And so it is. Turn it over to Jeanette.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you. and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright, blessed day, the dark, sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. Watch them grow. They'll learn more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Thank you.
Oh, what is it time for? It's time for conscious giving. If you look in your program, you'll see that we have a little saying, and I'd invite you to say it along with me. As we just see and give thanks for how prosperous we are, how nice it is to be together, and how sharing our prosperity keeps everything going. And of course, let's see, it looks like Morgan and Maddie are going to be passing a basket. But also inside your program, we accept Venmo and PayPal and all kinds of modern things. So we're very modern here. So let's say this together. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I am, and all that I give. I know this is so, and so it is. And let's sing together.
Oh, this is I Am So Blessed. I have one.
With the piano.
Hold on a minute. You know what? I had the wrong song here. Hold on a minute. I got it now. Got it. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Thank you, everyone. So I just have a few announcements. If you're watching online, you can go to our webpage, cslcarlsbad.org, and click on the newsletter link if you'd like to find out more about what we are doing. Today is a very special day. We are having our potluck, but before, during, and after our lunch, we're also going to have a special book sale and signing opportunity because we just want to showcase and support our very own authors and their books. So please take the time to browse and maybe pick up a Christmas gift or two. And we've got some books that we don't usually carry. It's the perfect time to take a look for it. There's no pressure. It's just about having fun today. I wanted to also say, oh, here we are. Good. You can see the picture. We have books by Reverend Dr. Carole Carnes, Reverend Dr. Maddie Dobbs, and we have a couple of her meditation affirmation CDs also. Jessica herself. Johnny has a children's book and a thriller. And Jim has his book on gratitude. I'm not sure if we have books by Jan today, but we'll get them for next week. And, oh, there may be more, but I wanted to also mention, because she's not an author, but another very creative person in our congregation is Reverend Lori. And so we've got some cards on the table about the Butterfly Effect Global. And she's shared this with us. And I know a lot of people have participated by making contributions to people in India for wealth and also to support training for lepers in a leper colony. So if you're interested in that, talk to her. She has nothing to sign. Maybe you could sign this card for her. That would be good. That'd be good, Laura. You can sign their card. But anyway, so let's just enjoy a nice lunch. And as always, I want to remind you all that you can request spiritual mind treatment during our time together after the service, or by putting your written request in the box in the lobby. We're available, and treatment is what we love to do. So don't hesitate to ask. And lastly, yes, so when I talk about treatment, one person that I really want us to hold in our hearts is Pat Zagwin. Her husband and our longtime member, Conrad, passed away last week. And so we do have a sympathy card that we'll be passing around during our lunch if you'd like to write a note to Pat. I'll miss him a lot. But there's a lot to be grateful for. And one of the things I'm really grateful for is our volunteers and helpers today. So I want to thank Susie for these beautiful flowers. So let's thank her. And I also want to thank all of our other volunteers, Johnny and Daryl and Morgan and Jessica and William and Robert. And today, Dr. Carole and Maureen and even me, Jeanette, everyone who cooked and brought food, everyone who made it today. Thank you all so much for making this feel like a celebration. So in closing, have I gotten all the announcements? I think so. So let's just know in closing the truth. This is a spiritual universe. There is only really one thing, spirit, universal mind, taking form in beautiful, infinite, amazing ways. And understanding that everything we experience is made of the substance of spirit itself, I recognize that I too, and each one of us, is made of spirit itself. One with the one, we exist, individualized and free, able to be conscious. And in this consciousness, I understand that we each have the power to claim our good, to think freely. And so I now know in my mind, on behalf of each and every person here, each and every person who may watch online sometime in the future or now, each and every person with whom we are connected, this week unfolds with a feeling of peace, clarity, good, and gratitude. And I know as we step into this feeling of unity and peace, the power of good radiates out into the world, increasing the tendency towards peace. Peace is possible when we know it in our own heart. And so I claim this wonderful good of peace, health, prosperity, and joy for each and all of us. I give thanks for the opportunity to know this truth, and I invite you to know it along with me by saying together, and so it is. Thank you, everyone. And now if you want to rise, on the back of your program, we have a song.
Open your heart, let your love go free out on the ocean, right across the street. Let it flow like a river, let it fly like a dove, till your heart remembers you can't stop love. Once you get started, watch what it does. It'll go full circle. You can't stop love in your heart. Let your love go free out over the ocean, right across the street. Let it flow like a river. Let it fly like a dove, till your heart remembers you can't stop love. Once you get started, watch what it does. It'll go full circle. You can't stop love. Thank you. That's it.